Starting from where we stopped yesterday, we're actually trying to create a plugin that is going to display a countdown, JavaScript countdown, and so we stopped where we have embedded the plugin and we created a page. The countdown is working fine. Now, next thing to do is actually just to customize it more and then export the plugin to the plugin directory. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, now let me share the screen so you can see what I'm working on. Yeah, so we can see the countdown is working, and this is the code. So far, we have been able to set it so that the user of the plugin can retrieve the date from by parameter. So a user, when it is not set, it is just going to count down to the new year. So we can take it a step further, because usually a user may just want to embed it into an existing HTML. So how do we do that? Because it seems this is the way the first, okay, this is setting the way the ID of the element that the countdown is going to be shown on. So we are going to look at how we can set that as well via the parameter. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make ID, and the parameter is going to be countdown ID. Countdown ID. And if it is not set, then we can now use getting started. Let's change this to PC countdown ID, and we'll change this as well here, PC countdown ID. So that is going to be what we are going to use if the countdown ID is not set using the parameter. So the user can change the ID of the parameter they want to use. Okay, so instead of doing this, we can use this ID. We can reuse this ID here, so that we can change the ID of the element dynamically. Excuse me. Alright, so also we how can we export this information so that they can be available? So now let us work with variable. Okay, let's see if this works. Of course it's gonna work. Why won't it work? Oh, I need to use this ID here as well. Okay, so that now that our ID is dynamic, we need to now make this one, all these ones, a variable. We have been working with parameter. A parameter is like a parameter is more like constants. So in a widget, when you create a widget and then somebody is setting a parameter, that parameter is a constant. It never changes. It's like your constant in programming. And now there's variable. Your variable is something that can change within your code. Though this is not supposed to be something that we should use variable for, but I mean, of course, we can use it for it as well. So we want to make all these ones into a variable. So how do we make variables? We just do what do we do? Data data day equals. Now this is, if we are setting the variable as data as days is to d. We'll do the same for hour as minutes and seconds. Hours, hours, minutes, seconds, s, m. Okay, so variable days, hours, minutes, seconds. Now this is just a syntax to set variables. No, this is not how to do it. Yeah, let me go and check some of the previous codes to know where's the show. Yeah, object template values. This is exactly what I need. Yeah. Okay. So instead of data, this is what I use. So remember, I am checking it too. For this object, this widget, I'm setting that anytime somebody reference days variable, give them this. Anytime somebody reference hours variable, give them this. Anytime somebody reference minutes variable, give them this. Anytime someone reference seconds, give them this. So this is basically what certain variables mean. That being said, we're now going to see how we can use these values. Let's see when embedding in the widgets. Okay, so now that we have done this, we need now to set those variables as this one. Okay, is it needed? Not really. We could have just set this one to this, but we don't really need that. So basically, our widget, when embedding this widget normally, is going to work like this. It's going to continue to work like this. So if we refresh, we'll still see that our widget is working. Okay, now that our countdown page is working, I just fixed the countdown page to be working correctly. So let's use this. So we can see that our countdown is working with all the updates that we have done. Next, the next thing is to check out to ensure that everything that we have set in form of variables are used, can be used in the widget embedding. So now the first, this is one way to access our widget on the page, is to use this other widget, which is a way to embed, the simple way to embed a widget. Okay, I'll do that again now by clicking on the page editor. I'll click on insert widget here, then I look at it is not available under the list of widgets here, but if I look at the other widgets, I'm going to be able to select from a number of widgets that is available. So from here we could see that a jQuery countdown, that's the name of our class, is here. So this is essentially going to embed our widgets on this page. So actually there's a way I can make this class to be previewed here on the page, but we didn't activate that feature yet, and it's out of the scope of this this lesson. So as you can see, all is working, and now if I do not want to embed this widget this way, I can go ahead and use another method, which is to use HTML text. This way, this widget, the widget I just used here, it allowed me to output this code. But usually, if somebody wants to use my widget or my plugin, they may want to add this countdown into an arbitrary code, more like I already have something designed, okay, or let's say I just want my countdown to appear somewhere here. Okay, so how do I achieve that? How do I make that work? So what I do is I use the embed widget option in the HTML text widget. So inside PageCarton, whenever you have any HTML text or any text at all, you can embed any widgets in it. So far the widgets, you can embed any widgets as a matter of fact. So I click on embed widgets option, and that would bring, okay, let me click embed widget here. So it's going to bring out, say, widget 0, then I should select widgets. So I'm going to select this widget, which is jQuery countdown. Okay, so doing this, still using I'm still using the old PageCarton. Okay, basically you see that it's showing available variables to use in content, showing me days, hours, minutes, exactly. So what I want to do is to just insert the days. Just insert the days. Just insert the days. So to do this, I'm going to go to the code view. Under my code view, remember there have to be some kind of why is this one like this? Okay, let's say I just want to put this one here. Let's say I want to put this one within this space. So I have to use, remember we use ID, some kind of ID stuff. So I use a span and I close the span, and then I now use days, hours, minutes, seconds. So my second here, my minutes here. Okay. Remember I have to use an ID. Okay. ID equals example. I can simply just use the ID I have here, or I can use example as my ID. It could be anything, but remember, oops, I expressed something wrong. Remember, I have to set this. If I'm not using the default ID, then I would have to like set the parameter. I would have to set the parameter of the ID I'm using. So countdown ID, let me use countdown ID 0 because I'm using widget 0. So I'm going to use example there. That's set. I think we should be good to go. If you review this in the WYSIWYG mode, you will see that it's showing the variables. So if I save this now and preview, we should have everything working fine. Yeah, it's working. But then what's going on? It's not showing the way I want it to show. Okay, it's working. I can see that the thing was embedded successfully, but then it's not just showing the way we want it to show. And that means our variables are not quite working the right way. So what I see that is working is the fact that now I see. Now I see. We have used that variable in the wrong way. So what happened is that when we have the we've used the variable in a very wrong way. Okay, so I think what happened is that the system just picked this ID, just like the instruction in this JavaScript was being executed. Like they just picked this ID and it pasted this in there. Okay, so I think integration method for this one would have to be uh hmm. So what we need to do, I mean, I think we're still on we're still working, we're still on schedule. Okay, so what we need to do is to find a way to dynamically pass this parameter in. Okay, we need to find a way to to put to push in this parameter. And how do we do that? We are going to say um, string equals. Now, to get the old data that this HTML text widget is feeding into this embedded widget, okay, we retrieve this old string in this by going to this gets parameter template, or what is it don't let me think too hard. It's here. Okay, markup template. Yeah, it's markup template. So this, we're retrieving this old thing. So if it's available, let's use it. That means it's been embedded in the text. If it is not, then let us use this one. Isn't that so cool? So now we now use the variable here. I think we should work now, unless I village people at work. Okay, let's see. Please work, please work, please work. Ah, it's not working. Oh, okay. This is serious. So now the reason it's not working now is because our ID is now being passed in here. So and we need the ID to be outside of it. So what do we do? Okay, so what we do is that by default, okay, if you just put in your text like this, all of this content, all of the content here in the HTML text will be sent to this widget for processing. Okay, but we can determine a specific section of the text that we want to be sent. For instance, in this case, we want just this section to be sent into the to this widget right here. Like, we don't need everything, we just need this section to be sent, because that is what is being used, that is going to be used here. Okay, that is what we need to retrieve here, to put here. So we don't need all this section where the ID is, we don't need every other. So this, we just want this one. This is the only section that is applicable to this widget. So how do we now make that happen? So there's a markup to use. The markup is actually, in the latest version of PageCarton, the markup is going to be automated, like you're going to see it somewhere here, but I'm using an old version, so I'm going to have to type it myself. Okay, sorry. The markup is, we wrap this up in a comment, and we use 3 curly brackets, opening curly brackets, then we use at, then we use this number here. This is widget 0 because we can have as many widgets as possible. We use widget 0, then we open a bracket, then we use the name of the widget, which is jQuery. You're wondering why we have to go through this whole stress. Okay, we can have a text box that has so many widgets we are embedding, so this one we need to really mark it so that the system can be sure that this is exactly where the information is. So we put in this, and then this one signifies like this is the start. This is the start of this widget. Okay, so we close up the comments. Next is to signify the ending part. We put this, that is the widget name, in brackets. Then we use at 0. We use at 02 here. Okay, we use at 02 here. Then we close these 3 brackets. So we have inside a comment up here, we have 3 curly brackets opening, it is closing here. Then we have at 0, we have another at 0 here. Then we have the widget in a bracket here, we have a widget in a bracket here. So mind you, we need to put this one in. So this is exactly how I'm supposed to tell the system that, oh, this section is the only thing I want you to pass in there. Okay, so that being said, let's hope this works. It must work. It's not working. Okay, so we see that all our variables have been changed successfully, meaning we have gotten to a good point. I guess there must just be one issue. Okay, let me inspect the elements. First, let me find out there are no errors in the code. Okay, I guess something is wrong. Something is wrong. Yeah. Okay. JavaScript strings don't like new line. Everything has to be in a line. So there's been a JavaScript error. What do we need to do this? We need to put everything in a line. But then, what if, does that mean our users have to put everything on a line before it can work? That's bad design. That would be a bad design. But let's see if this one helps us first before we can now go ahead. Okay, what's going on? This is serious business. Let's remove this and this. Oh, this thing has been changed for some reasons. Let me find out what's going on in the code view to see what was initially rendered. Okay, everything was rendered fine until something happened, and then the system returned it into something else. Let me see the rendered JavaScript. Rendered JavaScript, where are you? Okay, the JavaScript is not rendered correctly. JavaScript is not rendered correctly. This definitely cannot be our fault. We have done everything needed to be done. I think so. Because by the time this thing gets here, it should have been replaced. Okay. No, it is not replaced. Now it is not replaced. Now it is not replaced. Now it is not replaced. It was replaced at it was replaced was not replaced here, but it was replaced here. It was replaced here. Okay. So what do we need to do? We are not getting the right data here. This is not the right data to get. Let me check the code. Okay. Let's give it a view straight up. Because this is like the raw data. This is the raw data as it came in. I don't want to have to process anything. I'll use the view method, which is going to give me exactly, it's going to give me exactly what the browser would have rendered. This would give me exactly what the browser would have rendered. So let's see how that will work here. Okay, yes, fine. Yes, fine, good. So this should work fine now. Yes, it's working. It's working. Yes. So exactly what we wanted. So we can use our information in any form of HTML code. Any form of HTML code. Any form of HTML code. So next, I'm going to find a way to make it. I will now try to design it. Now let's see if we can remove all this dummy text. Okay. To remove all this dummy text. Okay, so I said something the other time that I don't have to condition, we don't need to condition our user to have the data in a straight line. That would be bad design, I think. So what can we do to ensure that JavaScript can take the JavaScript will be able to take any code that comes in? Because we want to fit this into JavaScript, we can just remove all the new lines character here. So how do we do that? We filter this and remove all the new lines. Now what we do is that we are going to pass it through this string replace PHP method, PHP function replace. We are going to look for, replace it with an empty string. We'll look for new line. Okay. Okay, let me use new line and carriage return, so we can be triple sure. So now we this should work. Yes, working just fine. Working just fine. Okay. So going back to, did I even save this? I'm not sure I did. Yes, exactly what I want. So here we're going to give it a title, countdown. Okay. Mind you, we have not set the dates. So by default, it's going to count down to the next new year. So I want to style it. I'm gonna double click this to bring out the style options. Yeah, so when this comes out, what I want to do is I want to make this thing bigger. Usually countdowns are supposed to be very big. Yeah. I'll make everything like in the middle. Now let me save to see. This is not what I want though, but let's see how this one will look. Okay, I can change the font. I want to assume when I double click this thing, it's supposed to bring out the editor for me. Sometimes this happens and it's crazy. I have to reload the page. So what I want to do is to clear the formatting of this one. No need to clear the formatting though. I can easily just change the font size of this one to something like 22. Okay. Yeah. Our uncle is not working again. The code must have been tampered with. Okay, the code has been tampered with. Has it? Yeah, the code has been tampered with. Mind you, the code has been dabarude, man. I need an intelligent editor for this work now. To analyze this code for me. This is serious now. As intelligent as this code editor is, still couldn't understand the code. I think what's going on is that this thing. I don't know what's going on right now. Okay. This thing is just like this, so can you imagine? You need a span for this. Wow. Okay. Don't need a span for this. Cool. And this one. No, everything is dabarud, man. The code doesn't. That's why this editing of embedding codes is better off when you do it in the code view. Notwithstanding, we are going to fix this. Okay. So what we needed to do was to ensure that this one was supposed to be here, and this one here. What we shall need to do is to ensure that this ID is outside. The ID can be here, and then this thing should cover everything. It should cover the beginning and the end of what we want to send to the widget. So whatever is inside now, however this thing is layout, I don't really need to know, but it needs to be like it needs to be a well formatted HTML document. So all this seems to be the way it's supposed to be. Is it? Yeah, it's just that so much span something. So just to ensure everything is good, and then we're good to go. So this should work. I guess it's not listening to me. It's not going to work. Okay. Basically, Okay, now I see something would have been wrong with the code with this so much code being sent into being sent to the to JavaScript. So we're sending a lot of codes, and mind you, see, this is going with this, and you see the quotes, double quotes and double quotes. So another thing we need to do is to sanitize this code so that we won't be having issues like this, is to ensure that our system is foolproof. We're using a double quote for a JavaScript string here. In this place, we need to make sure it is quoted, or let's say we add slashes, add C slashes, yeah, add C slashes. I forgot the name they used to call this thing. Magic quote, to quote it. So anything that has double quote, add a backslash before it. This is what we're doing here. If anything has a double quote, keep it, escape it here. It's escape. That's what we want to do. So we want to escape it. Let's see if that is done. Are you done? Yeah, it's exactly what we want to do. And I hope this works now. Ha ha ha. What's going on right now? Okay, so JavaScript is sending in something with slashes. So which is not a valid HTML. What do we do? This is a bad idea. Sending in a whole chunk of HTML code into JavaScript as string, and then JavaScript is going to send it back to the DOM. Is a whole bad idea. But of course, our plugin works. Okay, this is not some advanced programming class. This is just to show how you can work around things like this. So what am I going to do? What I can do to just work around this, I'm not going to come up with one expensive solution, is I'm going to replace, and I'm doing this at my own discretion. This may not be like the perfect fix, but then I'm going to do it anyway. I'll replace double quotes with single quotes. Double quotes replaced with single quotes. Let's see if that solves our problem. Still not solving our problem. But you see, this thing is working though. Just that the codes are now not working. This doesn't want us. It doesn't want us to send in the whole HTML. What are we going to do about that? This is working. I'm not gonna read the menu. So the not to waste our time, okay? This is not a thinking time. This is more like a tutorial time, and I think I've passed my message already, and which is a message of the fact that we really do not need all this. So I'm going to revert to what I did 2 minutes ago. Yeah, 2 minutes ago we had this. And it was working. That wasn't 2 minutes ago. Let's see, 16 minutes ago. This worked too, didn't it? What kind of English is that one? Yeah, there is no form of code here. So a way to do that, like to ensure that we are not sending code, would be to put the ID for the name, to put ID for the date separately, ID for the hour separate, an ID, and then have like different JavaScript for that, so that way we can set all the information we need. So I guess this is what we this is exactly what we wanted to do, to have a countdown, a working countdown. And let me change this to 48. So that's going to be some kind of update we can add to our code. So let me see how this is going to show on mobile though. Okay. Now, okay, let's try to see if we can do it separately. ID for see the ID, do something for the ID. I want to do a Joma here. What is this? It's late, I can't see my keys. So I want to add that anytime somebody has so automatically create these variables, their ID, make it available so that whenever you have the ID, let it so this one now is going to give us the value. Don't call me genius. Don't call me genius yet. Let's see if it is going to work. Don't call me genius yet. Don't call me genius yet. Let's just see if it's going to work. We may not need this anymore. So let me cross this. ID example underscore seconds. Underscore minutes. Hour, day, or days. Okay. Don't call me genius yet. Let it work. Example hours, example minutes, example days. Pray for me that this works. We are going to celebrate. Oops. This should work when it is not even saving. So my ID is what is here, my dates, then values. The only thing that may cause issue is this one. What's happening? Okay. Will you work now? I don't want slow network, man. What did I do to deserve this slow network? Call me genius, call me genius, call me genius. It's working. Oh yes. Oh yes, 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 yes. Now let's move on to do more editing. Now that we so I need so I want I want days to come below this. I want days to come below it. I want the same thing for everything. Not like I'm trying to do a design. You may not like my design though, but at least our plugin have to be really sweet. Okay. 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 So what's happening? It's hours, minutes, seconds. Forgive my rough design though. Yay, Bariba. What's going think I'm not a design genius though. I don't think I am. We'll do something about that now. What do you mean? I have an overall genius. I'll show you now. I'll show you now. Just wait for me. I'll just do something from CSS. Fix. Hello, Scammer. Sending me an invoice. I didn't buy anything. What I want to do now, I've done it before. This is exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to steal this code. PC inline block. Yeah, this is the class I'm looking for. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine? I have to come all the way here. Okay. So let's see how this is going to transform. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Or else. Okay. Oh, this PC inline block here is not defined anywhere. Still could have been defined in PageCarton file. Why now? I've made work easy for me now. Text align, center. Yeah. Why is it not centered now? This one is centered. What did they do that I didn't? Exactly what I need. Do you love this work? You love this work. So this one now can be inserted anywhere. To round off the session, let me complete this work. I'm going to save this widget so that people can use it easily. So let me save it as let me use the date first. Before I save date first, so the user will just come here and change the date. Dates. Let me check the format again. Year, month, day. Twenty 26 01 01 These are too much. This is 2020. So even if the day passed, to just return to 0. Awesome. Okay. So now we can save the widget. So now this widget is saved. And this is exactly what it is. Countdown. I guess we are done with our plugin now. Next is to push it live. I'm going to delete this other page, we don't need it anymore. Next is to build my plugin, so I'm going to come to plugins, my plugins, and I click on build new plugin. I'm gonna give my plugin a name. I can call it any name I want. Oh, I need a light in this room. jQuery countdown. Then I'm going to select modules are probably widgets. These plugin modules are widgets that I want to include. The widgets required for my plugin to work, I'm going to include them here. Then settings. This plugin basically doesn't have any settings, so we're going to leave this blank. Assuming we created the settings, we would have put it here. Then table data. We want to include some data that we have inserted. We don't need this document data. We don't need saved widgets. We don't need this, but we need pages because we want to include the page which is designed. Then what else do we need? What else do we need? What other table do we need? I think that's all. Then we need to include this file. Then this page. This is the page. This is the data of the page. So they're different things. Okay. So those are the things I need to include. When I'm done, I would just enter continue. So this is built, close. So I'm just going to download. It's going to come as a tarball, a compressed tarball, and I want to go and upload it on plugins.pagecarton.org. So basically, since we embedded this one, we need to acknowledge cover photo. Should I lift one from here? Or I can use my own. I'm grabbing a screenshot to use so that people that want to use this plugin can just have a look and feel of what they are going to see when they install it. Let me make it featured and public. Yes. Now I need to go to put the file. This is it, jQuery Countdown. Now to check if this is working, I'll go to another site. What sites can I use now? By the way, plugins are published immediately for now. What site? Any user now coming into plugins, install plugins, and when they browse more plugins, to see this here. So they can now install it. And turn it on. And when they do, it's listed here. Now listed here, but that is not the things we need to note. All we need to note is that once installed, the page /countdown is now will now be available. Working, and then we can now add countdown to any of the pages. So if I want to add a new page, or I can do this with any of the existing pages. Let me copy the home page test. Let's go and test. Now I can add. So either I come here and look for countdown, or I come here in a fresh HTML text box, look at in the settings, restore. Oh, I did not export this saved widget. Oh, I have to do this again. So I'm going to come. If I want to edit this plugin, I have to come back here. This is saved widget right here. So continue the download. So I may now come here and edit this one. I'm going to upload a new file. Save. For now, auto update is not available in for plugins, but then to apply the new update, I'm going to have to reinstall the plugin. I'm going to delete and come back here, install. Turn on. So now if I should come here and look under my savings, you should see the countdown here, and it should bring me everything I have saved, including the codes. Then I can now save and check out my test page. And it will be showing me this. In our updates, we should stop it from showing the you can do something to stop it from showing the why the nonsense it was showing before. So we can do that to edit it now to suit the needs of the site we're using it on. Probably we may not need a product, and then we may want to put some kind of space. Then to change the day, you can now say it's 2019 to 2024. So I'm not sure this is saved. So in the updates, we may change the error coming up. First, I'm not going to do that now. This tutorial has taken too long. We need to cut it down now. Thank you very much for joining and for staying till now. Thank you.